Welcome to Lady Recap. In today's video, we will be going through the 2023 movie It Boy. The movie begins with a 38-year-old Alice going around, bossing people around over a slight difference in color for the front page of the magazine that she is in charge of editing. She is in Brazil for work and is returning home to Paris. On the way to the airport, she calls Pauline, her friend at work, who informs her that Lise has been by their boss's side ever since Alice left. Alice is annoyed by a middle-aged man who comes off as too strong. Meanwhile, a teenage boy's seat has been taken by someone else, and the hostess guides them to sit beside Alice in first class. Alice is slightly annoyed by the young boy who is having too much fun, having been upgraded to a better seat. Soon, the plane runs into a bit of strong turbulence, and everyone on the plane gets a good scare. The teenage boy tries to distract Alice, but when the lights go out, Alice grabs his hand out of fear. Soon, the turbulence dies down, and everything goes back to normal. After Alice walks away, Balthazar notices that she dropped a flash drive on the floor and runs after her to hand it to her. Unfortunately, Alice has already gotten into the car waiting to take her home, not knowing that Balthazar is chasing after her car. The next scene shows us Alice entering her workplace and being greeted by Lise, her work rival who is attempting to take over Alice's job. Alice, angered by this, goes on to talk to Vincent about Lise. To her surprise, he tells her that Lise is a better fit as she is more daring, whereas Alice is uptight and unwilling to take risks. We also find out that Alice got divorced 8 years ago, and since then, she has become a workaholic. At home, her ex-husband visits to pick up their daughter, Zoe, and after Alice says goodbye to them, she returns to work. Adding to her frustration is the lost flash drive. After a lot of searching, Alice notices a note left by Pauline and calls the number. Balthazar picks up, but he's at a bar, and it is very loud. Alice tells him who she is and asks about her flash drive. Balthazar tells her that he has it, and she asks where she can meet him. He gives her the address of the bar, and Alice hurries over. Once there, Balthazar introduces her to his friends and tells her that there was a miscommunication over the phone, and he does not have her flash drive, but it's at his home. Meanwhile, two of Alice's co-workers spot Alice at the bar and are very surprised. They follow Alice and Balthazar outside, where Balthazar is helping Alice put on a helmet. From a distance, it seems as if the two of them are sharing a kiss, and Alice's co-workers waste no time in taking a picture and instantly posting it to Twitter. Balthazar drives Alice to his house on his scooter. At home, we meet Balthazar's dad, who is dating a very young girl. Balthazar looks for Alice's flash drive. Alice thanks him and leaves, but Balthazar asks if she'd like to have coffee with him someday. Alice, realizing that he's asking her out, tells him that it is not her style to date young boys like him. At work the next morning, Alice notices that all of her co-workers are whispering and laughing at her. Alice asks Pauline what's going on, and Pauline shows her the picture of her and Balthazar, titled A Cougar. Later, Alice is talking to her boss about something work-related when he appreciates her for going for a younger guy, telling her that he likes different things as it aligns with the spirit of the magazine Rebel. Later, Alice discusses this with her friend, who suggests that she hang out with this boy and be friendly to him, making it seem like the rumors are true. Because if she wants to keep her job, she has to keep her boss happy. Alice is skeptical but decides to go for it, changing her outfit to a sexier one. Alice arrives at Balthazar's college, and he is happy to see her. He gets even more thrilled when she asks him if he's free to hang out tonight at an art exhibition. They meet up at the exhibition. They head over to the balcony where Alice tries to keep pretending that she is in love with Balthazar, especially since Elise catches their eye. Alice is actually hoping to run into her boss so that she can show off Balthazar and her apparent relation. Lise soon comes over and strikes up a conversation, mentioning that their boss called and said that he cannot make it tonight. Alice gets a call from her sister who is trying to set her up with her gynecologist, Richard, and is asking Alice why she is late. Balthazar overhears the word doctor, and Alice presents that her daughter is at the hospital. The dinner with the gynecologist doesn't go that well, as Alice is very high at this point and keeps blundering, which is unlike her usual uptight self. The next scene shows Alice taking Balthazar to a runway show. Alice is taking care to dress as boldly as possible to make an impression on her boss. The runway is a big thing as the owner of the company, Kimmel, is also attending. One of the model trips and falls, making Balthazar jump to the rescue. Everyone stares at the boy. Later at the party, Alice introduces Balthazar to her boss, and Lise wastes no time in peppering Balthazar with questions. Noticing this, Alice drags her young boyfriend onto the dance floor and tries to dance sensuously with him. However, Lise has figured out that they are pretending and tells this to her boss. One of Zoe's friends notices and tries to take a picture, but Alice notices this in time. Balthazar drives Alice to her house, and he kisses her after learning that her daughter isn't home. Alice invites him in, and the two of them spend the night together. The next morning, it is raining hard, and Alice feels bad to send Balthazar out in such weather. She lets him stay until the rain stops. He notices a book written by Alice and is intrigued. But when Alice tries to take the book from him, they stand up in a compromising position. This is the moment when Elizabeth and Zoe enter the house, and Alice pretends that Balthazar is her friend. A few days later, they meet up again and they go out for a date. The next scene shows us Alice at a work meeting, which is being dominated by Lise and her crude ideas for the next issue's theme. Alice is in the corner texting with Balthazar and laughing. At least, the boss asks her what Alice thinks, and Lise makes fun of her, saying that Alice must have boring ideas. But Alice surprises them all with a bold idea about transcending stereotypes. That night, Alice stares at herself in the mirror, thinking that she should tell Balthazar the truth about why she started going out with him. Afterwards, she meets up with Balthazar, and he takes her to a really cool futuristic-looking building. They share a drink while Balthazar confesses how much he loves being with her and seeing her. Alice is really touched, but asks him if he really thinks this is a good idea because she has a grown daughter. She then says that it's best if they don't continue with this at work. Her idea has been a hit, and her boss is very happy with her. Her friend Simon asks her if she told Balthazar the truth about the promotion before breaking up with him, and she says no. At school, Zoe gets into a fight with another girl who showed her a video of Alice dancing with Balthazar. Alice's ex-husband is angry at her, telling her that she will have to explain herself to Zoe, but Alice defends herself. It is an important day at Rebel Magazine's office as Tracy Kimmel is visiting. However, she does not like the look of the male model, and after rejecting other models, she asks about the guy she saw at the runway, referring to Balthazar. Alice calls Balthazar, but he doesn't pick up as he is too busy getting drunk after the breakup. His father returns home to see the place littered with beer bottles and junk food wrappers, just as Alice came to see Balthazar. His father gives Balthazar his own clothes and pretends to be the one drunk so that Alice doesn't think it was Balthazar. He and Alice go out to talk, and Alice nervously brings up the topic of the shoot, but Balthazar isn't too happy about the idea. On the day of the shoot, Alice keeps calling Balthazar and telling everyone that he is on his way. The photographer is a really rude woman and keeps being a pain in the neck for the entire crew. However, just as Alice is losing hope, Balthazar shows up and is taken directly to the hair and makeup room. Simon goes to talk to him and apologizes to him about the whole thing, saying it was his idea, not knowing that Alice never told Balthazar the truth. The shoot begins with Balthazar angry at Alice, and it goes very wrong when the rude photographer pisses off Balthazar and he storms off. When Alice goes to talk to him, he confronts her about the whole thing, and everyone hears. Alice tries to talk to Vincent, who tells her that she is fired. Alice leaves disheartened over the job, but even more so about Balthazar. Alice decides to go see him. She heads over to his college and asks his friends where Balthazar is because she really needs to talk to him. They point her downstairs, but another student mistakes her for a guest speaker and guides her to a classroom for the lecture. Quite accidentally, Balthazar is sitting there too, and Alice tries speaking about infrastructures and modernizations, but through that tells Balthazar that she made a mistake. The students start asking questions, but Balthazar shuts them up and asks Alice a direct question. Alice admits that she screwed up and can't stop thinking about him. Please let us know what you think of this movie in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like our channel.